Hey guys, this is Undercover Dudes all the way from Down Under, and today we're going to be talking about the free-to-play games to play in early 2020. These videos are going to be less of a list and more like a news show, keeping you in the loop in a free-to-play world. However, a new top 10 is coming very soon on free-to-play first-person shooters, so make sure to go and smash that subscribe button so you can watch the video as soon as it comes out. Alright, so let's get straight into it with our first game, and that's Black Desert Online, which is one of the most hyped MMORPG releases from all the way back in 2014, and it's exciting because this game is finally going free to play on Steam on February 28th. A user on OzBargain leaked this news, which he found by looking at the Black Desert Online page on Steam database, and that showed that this game will be free to claim on February 28th. Now technically this is different than free to play, as with this you will need to claim the game to your library. Now judging from reviews, BDO is a mixed bag, with many praising the game for its beautiful graphics and in-depth customization, however many condemning the extreme grind and hardcore nature. Either way, Black Desert Online is a very popular MMORPG, and if you're interested, this is the perfect time to go and add it to your Steam library, so keep a lookout on February 28th. Quantum League goes and describes itself as a free-to-play time paradox shooter, and my first impression was, what does that mean? Now from the short trailer, it shows that you have free time loops where you go and play for a little bit and then you travel back in time and then your clones go and replicate the actions of what you just did, but also you're on the battlefield as well going and shooting, and then you do another time loop, and so there's two of you doing the actions of what you just did and then you also playing, so it's 3v3 but only one player. It's a very weird concept, and if that made no sense, do not worry because it's also confusing me as well. But the trailer is well produced, the graphics look nice, the concept is very unique, and I feel like we could potentially be onto something. We could be, you know, just finding that diamond in the rough type of thing. There is a lot to go and think about with this, but I'm keeping my eye on it. So when it comes out, I'm definitely going to be doing a gameplay. Next up, we've got Hordes.io, a browser-based MMORPG that has been taking over the .io scene lately, and for good reason. It's free to play, super easy to run, and has a ton of players. While technically this game has been out for a while, it really started getting some steam at the start of this year, with players grasping at the easy to pick up but hard to put down gameplay. I've played a decent bit, and this is the perfect game if you have 5 or 30 minutes to spare. Quickly hop into a party, kill some monsters, maybe do a little bit of PvP, it's fun and fast, which is awesome. Impressively though, this game has been developed by only one person, which is amazing for how detailed and fun Hordes.io is. Now if you guys don't know, Epic Games is giving away a game every week. It's been running for quite a long time, and the next stage has just started, with both Terraria and Assassin's Creed Syndicate both being available from February 21 to 28. I personally haven't played either of these games, but the reviews on them look decent, and hey, they're free games that you can claim to your library. What's not to love? Make sure to go and claim them by the end of the week though, and if you're watching and it's past the 28th, then go and check out the Epic Games website and see what's available to download for free. Now moving on to some free-to-play Steam games, which was like my bread and butter, and still I keep trolling through the Steam store every single week trying to go and find the gems in the rough that you guys might want to go and check out. The first one I want to quickly mention, it's not like my star pick, but it's something that might be a little bit interesting, is Valgrave Immortal Planes. It's described as a combo-focused battle royale game, and to be honest, it doesn't look half bad. It has fairly standard graphics, but a cool premise and back-to-basics gameplay. The reviews are also quite good, with a mostly positive rating, and quite a few reviews at that, and that's something that is hard to come by for a game that has only been out for 3 weeks. When I go and troll through the Steam store, the first thing I look at is, what's the rating? Is it mostly positive, overwhelmingly positive? Is it mixed, so on and so on? But also I look at how many people have reviewed it, and in the case of having, I think this is 350 or 400 reviews, that's quite good for a quite new game. So this is something that I'm definitely going to go and check out quite soon, so I thought I'd let you guys in on it, and maybe we could go and make up our own minds if this is a game worth playing. Continuing on the theme of browser games, let's talk about 1v1.lol. The premise of this game is simple: be a stripped down Fortnite clone in the browser. You can quickly hop into a 10-player battle royale match and get straight into the action, as the map is literally just the floor, so it forces you to build. It's a perfect way to go and warm up, as matches are quick and action-packed, but it also doesn't have the annoying aspects of Fortnite, so it's a much more streamlined version. It may look like a bit of a meme, and that was my first impressions as well, but the gameplay is decent and has the basics down. It does feel like Fortnite to an extent. However, a lack of death animations and recoil put me out of the action a bit, but it's still worth hopping on and trying, especially if you want a quick warm up or if you just want that Fortnite experience in a much more streamlined and succinct package. Now, one of the biggest juggernauts when it comes to free-to-play games is Fortnite, and Fortnite Season 2 Chapter 2 has just been released at the time of recording. Now, I haven't played Fortnite in a very long time. Tell me if I should go and try it again, but from what it seems, the game is going from strength to strength with new ideas every season, keeping the format fresh. This season, they're doing something a little bit different. It's called Ghost vs Shadow. A million channels are going to be covering this, so I'll stop talking about it. But Fortnite overall, going from strength to strength, and I don't think it's going to be stopping anytime soon. Now, going back to a game that I used to play a long time ago, let's go and talk about Combat Arms. Now, for those who used to play this game, a few years ago they tried to go and rework it, and they called it Combat Arms Reloaded. It had upgraded graphics, a new UI which admittedly is pretty trash, among other somewhat useless updates, some kind of cool, some not. Now, I've covered this game on my channel a lot. I think my first 6 years of this channel was dedicated to Combat Arms, so if you like this game, there is a ton of content for you. But what I want to go and talk about now is quite big for this rather dead game, and that's the opening of Latin America servers. Basically, the North American, European, and Australian player bases for Combat Arms are completely dead. However, the Latin America community has always been quite strong, so the opening of a dedicated server for Reloaded is quite big. Now, for the longest time, Latin America players have only had access to an alternative and arguably worse version of Combat Arms, so this move is quite big, and I don't know how the developers of Combat Arms, new developers of Combat Arms, the Loft, are making money, but they can afford to go and put up servers. Maybe it's a last-ditch effort to keep the game afloat. Who knows? But I'm quite interested to go and see if this move pays off, because there's still quite a lot of people that like this very old and admittedly extremely fun game. I personally don't play it anymore, despite it being my favorite game of all time, because there's only so many times you can be screwed by a game developer. But with that said, let's go on to the next game. Next up, we have another shooter, and that's my old friend Warface. If you see my videos a couple years ago, I trashed on Warfame's Battle Royale mode, and for good reason, because it was complete garbage. But the reason I'm bringing it up today is not because of a mode, it's because of what it's now been launched on, and that's the Nintendo Switch. Now, as I said just before, I've had my problems with Warface in the past, not only its mode, but also its extremely pay to win nature. But this move is super surprising, but also a little bit cool. A free-to-play military first-person shooter is something that the Switch goes and lacks, and now Warface goes and fills that void. And judging from a little bit of YouTube gameplay, it doesn't seem that bad. With 40 FPS gameplay and decent graphics, it seems okay. Now, is Warface, compared to any other FPS games, all that good? Well, kinda, it's like a 4 out of 10 game, right? If I'm on the PC, Warface is not what I'm playing. But hey, on the Switch, it might be different, because to go and get that package onto a small console, it would be a bit of an achievement, and I'm kind of interested in checking it out. Now, to go and end off this video, we've got to talk about Project A, the new free-to-play tactical first-person shooter by the developers of League of Legends, Riot Games. Now, if you guys haven't seen my recent video on Project A, then make sure to go and check it out. Link will be in the top right hand corner, as it will give you a ton more detail than I can go and cover in this video. But basically, Project A is a class-based shooter mixed with the hardcore FPS nature of Counter-Strike. Now to be fair, bubbling it down to this is probably very inaccurate, but from what we can go and see, that's a basic concept. We haven't had a chance to go and play it yet, there's been no betas, there's been a few people that had some very closed door testing and released their impressions online, and I'm also very jealous of that, along with everybody very jealous, because Project A looks amazing and I definitely want to go and do a ton of videos on it. If you guys want to hear more, make sure to go and check out that video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure to go and smash that like button and subscribe for more videos on free-to-play games. But other than that, it's Undercover Dudes, all the way from Down Under, out.